Pickaxe.
This episode is brought to you by Adobe Firefly, the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video generation. Built for today's creative process, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, and the timelines? Woo, yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Learn more at adobe.com/firefly.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys review Container, Moonrollers, and Dogfight 1917. And we get some quick hits from some other games. Plus, Marty shares his experience from the Southeast Game Exchange. My experience was I had a wonderful weekend to myself, laying on the couch, crocheting and binging whatever TV show I wanted.
Hello and welcome to episode number 382 of Rolling Dice and Taking Names. Name of this episode, Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. I'm Tony.
I'm Marty, and I mean, we kind of got to do this one, right? We grew up when Bonnie was super hot as in popular, not necessarily. Well, I guess people may think she's good looking. Anyway, right in the midst of the 80s, and I had several big hits. Passed away recently. I guess the biggest would be Total Eclipse of the Heart. So, yeah.
I need a hero. You can still hear that on a bunch of reels or whatever. I mean, people play that constantly, you know.
What movie was it from?
It wasn't Rocky, was it?
Footloose.
You
never saw Footloose?
No desire. Never, ever. I don't like to dance, so why would I watch a movie about dancing?
It has no. Oh my gosh! How did you not see Footloose?
By not going to a theater or watching it on TV. That's how I did not see it. It's not a hard process.
I had the soundtrack to Footloose on my cassette.
I don't know if I would admit it. I would not admit it to that.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, remember back in the 80s, I mean, if you got a song on a movie soundtrack and that movie was big, you had a hit. They don't really do that anymore. You know, they don't use a lot of pop artists to make soundtracks for movies. But in the 80s, every big movie. I mean, Kenny Loggins, how many movies was he on, etc.? Footloose being one of them. I mean, that guy was known for movie soundtrack songs.
I did have that soundtrack to Top Gun.
I had that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I had that one too. Yeah.
I wore that little tape out.
Dude, I had Ghostbusters, which I've recently bought on vinyl. So during Halloween, I'll throw on the Ghostbusters soundtrack, which is also actually, there's some pretty rockin' deep cuts from that album that in the movie only had a few seconds played, but the whole song is really good.
Oh, you know, the other one I had on vinyl that of course don't have anymore, Heavy Metal.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for saying that. That needs to go on my wish list for vinyl. That is an amazing soundtrack. My gosh, man, the people on the groups and people on there.
Oh, Devo.
Yeah.
Working
Devo,
in a coal mine.
Yeah.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Was
Donald
it Don
Fagen?
Henley or Glenn Fry? Oh, Don Felder. Don Felder did the heavy metal soundtrack. There were two heavy metal songs, and one was Sammy Hagar.
Yep.
And the other was Don Felder. Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
And then I think I eventually got it on tape.
Okay. I got to make my wish list.
Make it. I mean, you know, vinyl, heavy metal, or 8-track or tape, whichever. You know, I tell you what, if you get it on vinyl, cut me a tape, and I have no way of playing it, but go ahead and go for it.
Okay, hold on. So I'm trying to think of whether it was, I forgot. Donald Fagen had a song on there from Steely Dan. Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick. Grand Funk Railroad. Queen Bee, which I was a big fan of. Nazareth.
What's
Don Felder we mentioned. Sammy Hagar, yes. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. With Ronnie James Dio. Oh, okay. I know what I'm cranking up afterwards later on tonight to listen here. Heavy metal is so good.
I mean, the movie wasn't that great, but I remember, wanting... But, growing up, I couldn't go to it because I was too young. because it was a R-rated film, but I remember when it came out on HBO. Oh, I watched that. Yeah, parents didn't care. It was just anime.
Do you remember the iconic intro to all HBO movies?
No.
You remember? Oh, dude, you ought to go pull up the 80s HBO intros to movies, and I swear you'll be transported back 40 years when you hear it. And it was played before every presentation. So I know this. I don't know if I've ever seen heavy metal in vinyl, because if I would have seen it, I would have picked it up.
Okay.
Oh, this is a Grail item for me, y'all. This is Grail.
I wish I still had it for you, but that, 10, 15 years ago, got rid of all the vinyl that I had. Sorry about that. I mean, I had some good stuff on vinyl, but it's all gone now. That's all right. So are all my CDs. So are all my cassettes. So funny. All right. We're not going to belabor this because we've got a lot of games to talk about. We need to get over to some that we'll do some quick hits on, y'all. I know not full reviews. We'll try to keep it very light. And just some things that we've played that we were like, you know what? We just need to mention these for our listening audience because you're definitely not watching us. I think he's still adding to his wish list. I see him over there typing that y'all can't see right now. And I got the Space Intro Remaster to the HBO intro. Oh, where it's got the clouds and all that stuff.
Okay, so I didn't listen to a word you were saying. So going back to the HBO intro, I found a video. So I'm going to share it with you in chat, okay?
Oh, I've already watched it. I'm watching it right now.
Okay. It's this music here about at the 37-second mark, and I'll play it here for everybody.
Yeah, that's like a flood back to the old memory banks.
I told you. It's like whoosh. Back to your living room. It's like, have parents gone to bed yet? Can I watch the R-rated movie yet?
Yeah. No, I was just simply saying we're going to jump over to some games because we got a lot of them to cover.
No, we're not. I've got to tell you guys about Southeast Game Exchange that I just got back from.
Oh, okay.
So super excited to have gone to Greenville, South Carolina, and got to spend a couple days there. This is a huge retro video game show. This is my third year going. They've expanded this year. They had 2 halls. They've expanded to 3. Tons of vendors with a lot of, obviously, retro games. Pokemon's big. Like, every vendor had a display of Pokemon cards and then Pokemon games. But they've expanded to a lot of tabletop gaming space. They've brought in some vendors, some local vendors, to not only run board gaming events, but they have some prototypes and stuff there. In fact, one of the companies there is a distributor for TCGs. And they have what's called a TCG speed dating thing, where you could go around and every 15 minutes they'd ring a bell and you demo and try 4 or 5 TCGs. I didn't do the speed dating portion, but I did go around and demo some of the games. Some of these I have never heard of, but it was really cool to spend time off the vendor floor, come over here, play some games. And again, there's was a company called, was it Boardwalk or Broadway? I think it was maybe Boardwalk Games that had a library set up to where you could go and get games and go and sit down. They had some teaching of games and stuff like that. Just like Southern Fried Gaming Expo, they've added a little board game element, which is really sweet. But it's a wonderful time. I dropped way too much money, though. So, and you know what? I got to give a shout out to our buddy Mark, who paid me for the booster box in cash, as cash is king at these events, which I still had on me. And I was trying to bargain, make a deal here. And the guy said, will you pay with cash? And I said, I happen to have some cash on me, baby. So yes. He said, well, if you're paying cash, I'll give you that deal that you want.
So after all that whining you did at game night about receiving cash, oh my heavens. I mean,
it actually came into play. So
it's, it might be even coming back to where cash is used now. So a lot more people are asking, hey, even at dinners and restaurants right now, are you paying in cash? Yes, I am. We're going to take a little bit off the top.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's like if you pay in cash, you get it cheaper. Or lots of times what you'll see the surcharge.
The 3% off. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're using the credit card, it's like, okay, do we need to go backwards? I mean, but some places don't even take cash anymore. So anyway, jumping off subject. So Southeast Game Exchange is going to happen next year at the end of July. Lot of big names there, y'all. They had like all the major cast of Red Dead Redemption with the main voice actor. He was there. Huge long line for people to get his autograph. If you're into video game YouTube space, Scott the Woz was there, which is a huge video channel. He had a humongous line there. I was super excited to get an autograph from David Wise. He wrote the soundtrack for Donkey Kong Country, which is to me an iconic soundtrack. And I told him, I said, dude, he said, I just want to thank you for providing me a soundtrack that got me through that game, and many times the controller being thrown across the room. But luckily, as I sat there and huffing and puffing, your soundtrack helped soothe me to pick up the controller and keep trying. He got a good chuckle out of that. Okay. But yeah, he's like an iconic video game composer. So it was a thrill to meet him. And it was really interesting. I was talking to him. I said, all right, during the early 90s, what was your process? Did you basically play notes on a keyboard that was written to what's called MIDI, which is a musical interface type thing? He said, I wish it was that easy. He said, literally, I had to go in and write hex code. Each note had a certain hexadecimal value, and I had to write the hexadecimal value and then how long that note would be held. And I had 8 tracks to work with, 8 sound generators to work with to create that soundtrack. I said, I can't even imagine. That is absolutely mind blowing. You had to go through that. Everybody had to go through that at that point.
I don't really envision what that is because, I mean, I briefly remember programming on my Commodore 64 128 and having to do the hex code and all that and generating noise and sounds because it had one of the few, I guess, sound processors or whatever back then. I'm speaking out my hind end here, but yeah, I do recognize that. But if you are having to do that to create the music, you don't realize that, hey, you just, play it and then it converts, the computers convert it over and make it part of the sound. They couldn't do that, right? You could not do that back then.
No, I mean, literally they just had a built-in sound generator.
Yeah.
And you told it, here, I want you to generate this sound, generate this note, and hold it for this length of amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, we forget that voice sounds, actual talking, wasn't back in those days,
I mean, you think about the early video games, it was just sound effects, the peanut sound or something to give it just some sort of vocal intonation as you read the text. But it's one of those things where I love shows like this because a lot of people you get to meet that went through that. And it was really cool seeing really young demographic there. A lot of young people buying older consoles and older games and wanting to play. And I think that's cool. I mean, they're saying, okay, I want to see this past and be a part of it. Saw somebody selling a Commodore 64. Thought of you there. Old Commodore 64. I mean, every hardware you can imagine you could have bought from there too. So it is a great way to preserve the past. I'm glad that a lot of these games are coming out of the basement and everything like that. That's a great place to go find them. What's funny though is I went to church this morning and they were asking where I went, and I told them, the sound person said, you know what? In my basement, I've got a PlayStation 1 and Sega Genesis and Sega CD and tons of games. I went, excuse me?
Yeah.
She said, yes. I don't even know what's in there. I said,
bring it.
I'll give you $25 right now.
I got cash.
Take the offer. I got cash. No, I'm going to actually follow up with her. I said, do you mind pulling those out and seeing what you got? I would love to assess and see what you have because you might be sitting on a gold mine. A lot of PlayStation 1 games, if the manual that is there and everything, a lot of them are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said when I was helping my daughter unpack and I found their Game Boy games from when they were, growing up, and they just have them sitting around. And
you sent me some pictures of. You said some of them were fake though.
They were. He was telling me that they had the cartridges, but they were downloaded ROMs or something where you could put it on the cartridges. DROM. I don't know. I was like, He said, these are not real. I said, how? But they look real. He says, yeah, I know, but they're not. So, okay, whatever. But he said, but these are.
Yeah, you do need to be able to recognize fakes if you're into this. There's a process for each different cartridge on what it is. What was cool is I bought a copy of Metroid Fusion complete in box. I have a loose, but I'm going to sell it. Go towards this. The guy told me, he said he replaced the battery in it. So that's another thing too, is the save battery. A lot of people will take the cartridge apart and replace with a new battery. So anyway, yep. Southeast Game Exchange, amazing time if you're into that thing. Tony, so we got a lot of games that we've played, and it's like we do not have enough time to cover them all. We thought, let's do this thing or do quick hits. Hey, we played this. If you're interested in this, this is it. No rules or anything, no numbers or reviews, just some of the stuff we got to the table. And I got something for you right here that I created in Audacity before I hit record. Okay, there we go. Quick hits, baby.
Please don't ever use that again.
No, I'm using it again.
What's with the squeaker? I understand the punching sound.
I just wanted to put a little tag on it, and I found that, and it was like it was funny. It's like just a little squeak.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So this first game is a historical game called, oh my gosh, I don't know how you pronounce this. Do you know? Would you pronounce this for me?
I'm going to try to say Guerre Eclair.
Okay.
Guerre?
Which a World War II game from Nuts Publishing, 2-player game, small board. One person plays as the Allies, a person plays as Germany. Without going too much into it, Tony, we both felt that, you know what, if you've never played an historical game, and some of those can be super complex and super in-depth, this might be a good one. It's a small box. The rules are easy to learn. The gameplay is really cool where everything's driven by cards. At the beginning of your turn, the Allies pick 6 cards from their deck they want to play that turn. The Germans pick 8. And over the course of the game, they're going to play these cards to make movements and do different abilities. Some of them help with attacking. Some of them help with defending. You go into a certain space, a combat happens, which is resolved with dice, which is a lot of the games. So you learn how to see how the dice works. The concept of in supply is in here, which is cool too. As you move along the map, you need to keep your guys in supply, which is a very big thing in a lot of historical games. And Tony, I just felt this is kind of a really good little entry game into those who want to get into it and just kind of see some of the concepts of dice rolling and zones and supply and control, etc.
Yeah, and for those who aren't aware, this was based in the 1940s. By the way, the game means blitzkrieg, which was when Germany was coming through Belgium and they were going to come into France, bypassing the Maginot Line. So that's the theme that they're producing here to try to bring that historical reference to the table. Dice. Whenever you put dice in a battle game, that's what's going to swing the historical concept or the outcome. And I didn't mind it one bit. I mean, I did not do a good job of blitzkrieg. One of the things I found very odd in this game, which, I was behind screens with my German forces. You did not know which is the fog of war. You did not know how I had aligned my tanks and my infantry.
Mm-hmm.
And you did not know how they were going to come through and try to run down and take over France.
You had a secret objective that if we got through the entire game and nobody had claimed victory before then, if you completed one of your secret objectives, you won the game. Allies won by getting into one of those secret bases. If I could come in and take over control of one of those bases, Allies win. Also, the Germans win too. If they cut off supply lines and Allies have to retreat and they can't and they surrender, once a certain number of Allies have surrendered, they win the game too. So I also appreciate too that in a lot of games like this, there's multiple ways to win. And also like that it's an asymmetric game, is that each side's going to play differently. So yeah, y'all, if you're looking for like a quick entry-level 2-player game, Nuts Publishing has done some great games in the past. And this is one that you might want to check out. Inexpensive game, Guerre Eclair. Oh, do you want the sound effect again? Is that why you're pausing? Okay.
No, I'm pausing so I don't screw it up. Now I've completely lost my train of thought. Thank you so much. Oh, man. That sound effect is going to haunt me tonight. I'm going to be like, or whatever it was that you did. I'm like, holy cow. All right. So let's talk a little bit about a new game from Op Games, or is it OP Games? I always say Op Games. Anyway, Tap In. Big follow-up to their Flip 7. Why do I say it's a big follow-up? If you were on Board Game Geek at any point in your past month, you could go out and request this game for free. So first thing I'm going to ask is, Marty, brilliant marketing or loss leader? What do you think? What do you think? Was it brilliant marketing to send out hundreds of these, thousands of these games?
A loss leader is eventually taking a little bit of loss up front to make money in the end, right?
Sure.
So it's both.
It's both, yeah. Well, why not?
Well, hold on. Now somebody in business are going to go, that's not what a loss leader is. Loss leader is a pricing strategy where business sells a popular item at below cost or break even. Well, I guess free is below cost. No, I think it's a brilliant move because we saw it with Flip 7, right? How many copies of Flip 7 do you think you've sold to people that you've played? I can count 3 just real quick off my head.
Including special edition ones? Yeah, easily up to 5. You know?
Yeah, easily. So tap in is the same thing. We just need to get this game into people's hands. This is going to be probably like an $8 game at Target, just like Flip 7 is. But Tony, what is this game? Because it is really different than Flip 7.
So in this game, it's I call them a card shedding game where you have a hand of cards. You're dealt 19 cards. 4 will go face down in front of you. 4 will be on top of those, so you don't know what's underneath. And then you'll have a card of 11 hands. The whole concept is to be able to
card of 11 hands.
Sorry. Yeah, that was brilliant. I know.
A hand of 11 cards.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So you're going to put them down. So you're going to be playing cards. Now, the big thing is there's a stack for everybody to play to. And if you can play on the stack, and what I mean by that is that you're going to play cards that are equal to or less than the card on the stack. And if, by chance, you can play 4, not you, but if 4 cards on the stack are of the same value, then the stack is discarded. And if you did that, you get to go again. Now, there are some take that type of moments where you can play tap out, which says, oh, I can't play to the stack, so I'm going to sit out this turn, or I'm going to tap out you, Marty. You can't play this round. But if I have a tap in, if you play to tap out on me, I can now tap in and I can play to the stack. So there's some strategies to this about, when do I take the stack? How do I keep my opponent who comes next in line to keep from playing to it? But there is some blind luck in this game because once you have exposed one of the face down cards, you may play it blindly to the stack and hope it is less than the card on top of it. Also, you can always play from your hand plus what's in front of you as long as they are the same card. Quick playing, some strategy to this game. Push your luck. I've played it multiple times with the friends and then y'all, of course, and most people are like, you know what? There's a little bit more strategy than Flip 7. They liked it.
I thought I would like Flip 7 more, but they're both different. Mm-hmm. Totally. Flip 7 is strictly push your luck.
Yes.
With the Vengeance, which I say y'all always play with the Vengeance because it's the most fun. That version, because you can stick it to people and stuff like this. This one feels like more of a traditional card game, and Flip 7 doesn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but because it has that card shedding mechanic. So yeah, y'all, if you got a free copy of Tap In, awesome. If you haven't, be looking for this coming. I don't know if it's out yet or coming soon. It may be coming out at Gen Con.
And scoring at the end is based on the cards left in your hand or cards in front of you, and if you have any tap ins or tap outs, that's either 20 or 30. Respectively on the card. So, and then you play to a set number, okay? Versus where Flip 7, you wanted to get the higher, here you want to have the lower. So,
do you know how many people it plays off the top of your head?
6. I think.
Did you say that?
Let me just check, but I think it's 6.
It's not on Board Game Geek.
Really? They haven't put it in yet, huh?
And we've been saying tap in.
We have.
Tap 4.
It's tap 4.
Oh my gosh.
Also, for those of you who cannot find it, that's because we've been saying the wrong thing. It's tap 4. Because, I'm sorry, tap in is just... I don't know, man.
We've been talking...
Tap 4.
So, it's Tony's fault. He wrote in the show notes,
I did.
Tap in.
I did, not tap 4.
So, everybody's been going, we have no idea what you guys are talking about. Tap 4... Which makes more sense because that's the goal of the game is trying to get 4 the same number in the stack so you can wipe it.
God. But they should have called it tap in. It's so much better.
Tap out. tap in.
Well, just think about it. Oh, look, we can't find it. It was created in 2019, but it's now coming up by OP now. Wow.
OP, yeah.
Okay, that's good. 2 to 8 players.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So take everything that you just heard about the game tap in and just subconsciously switch that to the game tap for, and then you're good.
I've been calling it tap in forever. No wonder no one can find it. Oh my heavens.
And I didn't even catch it. And I got 2 copies of the game. I accidentally got 2 somehow, so I gave one to our friend already to kind of spread the wealth. So anyway, all right, yeah, tap 4. Definitely goes right along flip 7 for me.
Well, the next one, let me see if I can booger this one up. Crits and Tricks from Inside Up Games. Hey, I got it right.
I think that is correct.
Yay!
I think that is correct.
Oh, another trick-taking game, and y'all know we like our trick-taking games here at Rolling Dice and Taking Names. We like taking trips. Why couldn't we got Rolling Dice and Taking Tricks? Oh, wait a minute. That would not have been very good. That's kind of that's suggestive.
That would be really bad, yeah.
That would have been funny, but yeah, okay. All right, Marty, tell me a little bit about this Crits and Tricks.
All right, so Crits and Tricks, just like you said, is from Inside Up Games. So at Gen Con, they're introducing 3 new small box card games. This one happens to be a trick-taking game. We've got the others. We will play them in the future. But Crits and Tricks, I thought was really interesting is that it's kind of a fantasy-themed trick-taking game. Everybody is giving a set of 6 die, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20, and you have a screen. And at the beginning of the game, it's randomly chosen what classes are going to be played in the game. There's a rogue, a wizard, a bard, a barbarian, a paladin, and druid that are mixed into a deck. The thing is, though, none of those cards have values on them, because the values that will be used are on the dice that you're going to roll behind your screen. And when a card is played, you will take one of your die and assign it to that card. And then you're going to resolve tricks as normal, except Tony, the lead trick determines how the trick is won that round.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And Marty, aren't these dice just D6s? I don't think you said, did you?
No, I said D4, D6, D8, D10, 12, D20. I listed them all out. You weren't even paying attention. Y'all, he's looking outside this window at something over there and not even paying attention to
I am not looking outside my window. I was actually looking for the next game we got to talk about. But anyway, I was reading about tricks and crits. Crits
and tricks.
See, I can mess it up. See, I would just call them RPG dice. But yes, when you win by taking these tricks, by the special abilities, that completely puts this game upside down for me. I was messing up. I was constantly thinking, oh, I just need to play high dice. And these dice need to be, when I roll them, if I roll all low dice, this is going to suck. But it didn't. And that was kind of fun. There was a lot more strategy in the die placement or the die play than I anticipated with this game. I was like, okay, when do I want to use my D6? When do I want to use my D20? If they haven't seen the D20 come out on any of my cards, they may be thinking that's a high value number, hopefully, which will force them not to play the class, that says the highest card wins. Which was that the barbarian?
Yeah, the barbarian, if it was led, it says on the card, okay, the person whose player has the highest value wins. Done. That's how that trick will be won.
Right. And so if they're not seeing that dice come out, well, guess what? They're like, oh, maybe they're waiting on that barbarian. Should I play the barbarian? So there's the nuance of strategy in here. Kind of misses you on that first play, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And here's some of the other ones, y'all. If you play with the druid is the druid who has the second highest value wins. If you play with paladins, the player whose paladin had the highest value and uses the same die size as the lead player's paladin wins. That's kind of twisty. And like the rogue, that one is whoever has the lowest value wins. So whoever leads is dictating how this will be won this round. And also, but what's cool is every game will always have bards in them. Bard's ability is that you can match the winning condition of the suit it represents. So Bard is like a wild card. But Tony, these classes not only determines how to win the trick, there's also crit abilities that can be used twice per round.
That's right. On each of the cards, they'll tell you what those crit abilities are. And then when you're getting ready to play, you play your crit ability that will maybe let you substitute out dice that you've previously played. So that's the other portion of this. Now, those abilities are pretty powerful, but I liked them. The other thing that you're trying to do is when you're playing, you are all given quests, and they are drafted or you pass them. You're given a handful of quests, and then you say, oh, I like this one. Pass to your friend. Then you get the next one, and you're trying to fulfill those quests along the way. So only the first one is really secretive. The rest, everybody will get to see over time. So that also helps in some of the strategy if you're smart enough and able to remember what those quests were at the start of the game.
And also, there's an overall quest that everybody's shooting for that gives you points at the end of the game. Also, dealt 8 cards, 6 tricks. 2 of those cards you can use for the critical abilities. Tony, you mentioned one about swapping dice. There's one that, hey, if you play the paladin ability, you win ties, which could be big, that sort of deal. And then you're going to get points. Basically, they're hearts. Like each bard that you've collected in your collection of tricks is going to be worth a point. Quest that you completed are worth points, and then that in-round quest also gives you points. So it's just the person with the most points wins. This is, again, a series of 3 new games coming out. I think this is clever. I thought the dice might be fun. It's really interesting when to decide to use the dice or not. I like the different class abilities because each time you play, it's going to be a little bit different. So crits and tricks I know trick-taking games are so overdone now, but at least this one really feels different than a lot of the others out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And we'll go back and we'll actually maybe I can convince you to do quick numbering on all 4 of them when I call them out. All right. All right. Next is the one called Traveluencer, as influence. So Traveluencer. This is interesting. This is from Broadway Toys,
which is from Korea. So we just got in contact with a company in Korea that sent us a few Korean games for us to check out. And because we like trick-taking games, we thought we'd delve into this one first.
That's right. Now, in this game, players play any number of cards in an attempt to win tricks and boost engagement. Imagine that. You're an influencer. They must manage their resources carefully, and they risk losing followers due to inactivity, meaning near the end of the round, you can get negative points if you haven't played all your cards. So what you're trying to do here is, I did like this portion of the game. At the start of the game, these various suits that are available are placed over the rounds, and they are telling you what the trump will be.
Each round is 7 turns.
Right, 7 turns. So maybe it's food, maybe it's scenery, maybe it's people, whatever. Okay, whatever you want.
Those are the suits. Yeah.
Right. And so on your turn, you will pick a number of cards from your hand, whoever has the lead, and you will play them, and you will arrange them in ascending order, which says how many people have clicked on your image, and whoever has the highest number then collects the trick. Now, if it's not the trump suit, someone can come in and then trump you, of course, because that's what people really wanted to see for today. So even if you had over 500 followers who clicked on your link using the terms we have that you've put out there, the 500 total cards, or not 500 total cards, but 500, and they come in and say, well, guess what? I only have 5 people like my picture of the mountain, and that's what they wanted to see. You win the trick.
The trump is whatever the card is for that turn.
I did. I mentioned it. You didn't listen to me.
You did. Right. I didn't listen.
That's
so,
okay.
But you always have to follow the lead. But the thing is, though, they do have to be in sequential order. So it can be 1, 2, 3. You can't put down 2, 3, 1. So it must always be in that order. So you're trying to determine, well, when do I want to save these cards to possibly win tricks later on? But Tony, what's interesting is if it gets to your turn and you've used all the cards in your hand, which you possibly could have done, then you're going to start losing points. And at the end of the round, if you didn't use all your cards, you lose points. So now you got to plan a little bit to make sure that in the last couple rounds, I can get rid of my cards somehow.
Yeah, we're like an old married couple.
Yeah, I know. I've said that many, many times.
Yeah, well, I mean,
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is one of those, Tony, that all of us around the table go, we're going to need to delve into this again because it's really twisty playing multiple cards in a turn.
And I think we can always talk negatives here. One of the things that when you first put it on the table, this is not something I do. So generally when you play a game, something has to kind of sort of draw you in. Now, maybe if there had been a different type of theme to this, I may, I've played games similar to this. So I see what they're doing with this. This is something that could draw in those influencers. But for me, I'm just like, I don't care about this stuff. But the mechanics of the game should not hold you back from trying this out, right?
Yeah.
Because,
And it's one of those things they heavily put the theme into everything about the game. Now, one thing that we're not doing a full review yet. The reason why is because there's also these event cards that would occur every second or third round, which would change rules. The thing was, and we don't know if it's a translation issue, but some of these event cards made no sense. Like one of them was at the end of a round, whoever has the least amount of hearts can take cards from other players. It's like, but nobody has cards at that point. So we were unsure did you mean turn instead of round? But there were several cards where it seems like those words were used incorrectly. So that's why we've kind of held off. I want to see if I can reach out to them and go, could you clarify some of these? Because those events do make some interesting twists in the middle of the round, but we just need to understand them better. So I think it's definitely one of those we need to try again. There's some nomenclature we have to get around with. It's very much doing that influencer type thing. But the idea of playing multiple cards per round and there being a dictated trump each turn, I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So there's a bunch of quick hits there. We have a special taste buds coming up next, sent to us by a longtime listener. But one more time for the road, y'all.
Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
Oh my goodness, Tony, longtime friends and listeners of the show, Chris and Angel, out of the blue, sent this to us. They sent us 2 bags of Vlasic pickleballs, dill pickle corn puffs. I'm a dill fan, so I'm kind of looking forward to this. Are you a dill pickle person?
Well, I was going to ask you. So, bread and butter, dill pickle. For you, which one will you prefer to put on your hamburger?
Dill all day.
See, I'm a bread and butter kind of guy.
Aren't those like sweet?
Yeah, they're sweet. Bread and butter.
I don't like sweet pickles.
You don't like sweet pickles? And I'll start thinking about this. So my aunt gave me a recipe. It's called Grandma's Christmas Pickles. And they were basically, when you make it, it's like, I looked at her and go, this is like making your own sweet and sour from dill pickles or bread and butter. And she goes, oh, yeah. And she goes, but you got to remember, back then, they made their own dill pickles. They'd go out to the cucumber vines and they'd be picking them and they would generate that. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I appreciate that little knowledge that I guess I'll remember now forever. And so I was like, okay, so I've always been a bread and butter kind of guy.
So like my grandmother made pickles every single year. My dad loved them. They were a little, I don't know what she put in them. I like dill pickles better. I'm not sure what her recipe was. So
was it straight dill? Was it straight?
I don't know if it was dill at all. I'm unsure.
Did your grandma have a herb patch and you had to go out and pick the dill for her?
No.
Yeah, I did. Oh my gosh. But dill does smell good. I love dill.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see how these smell. Let's break open this little bag here. Let's see what we got. Again, thanks to Chris and Angel. This is a nice little surprise. Oh, that's dill. Oh, that is dill. That's strong.
Ooh, that smells good too.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'll be munching these the rest of the show.
I do like dill pickles. Don't get me wrong. Bread and butter's number one, but I do like some good dill pickles.
And so these look exactly like you expect. They're like the puffed corn balls, like cheese balls, basically. But instead of cheese, they're dill.
All right, let's eat these.
All right, here we go. It tastes exactly like you expect. Consistency of like a cheese ball, but instead of cheese, you're getting dill.
Okay. Yeah, you do. But my mind's... Okay, I smell dill. I'm thinking of a dill pickle. I'm not expecting this hard of a crunch. So my mind's like, what the frick is this? This should not taste like that. Also, do you prefer your pickles? Well, you always refrigerate after opening. Cold pickles or warm pickles?
Cold.
Yeah.
I do like cold. Okay, here's another question for you. Do you like slices or...
Spears? I know what you mean. The slices, big slices.
Yeah, slices. That's it. Yeah.
Or jerkins. Now, I can go all day on dill jerkins. The little small pickles. Oh, love those.
It's funny. We're sitting here, y'all, just eating a whole bag of this stuff. That's good. Do you like dill potato chips?
No.
I do.
Not a fan of dill potato chips. All right.
Oh,
Okay, putting these aside. Thank
Chris
you, Chris.
Nangel, thank you so much. If anybody else wants to send us something to try, we will for sure try it. You can hit us up on our Discord channel. Send me a DM or something like that. Or you can send us an email at rolldicetakenames@gmail.com. We'll give you an address and you can send us something to try. We've tried some weird stuff in the past, y'all, like crickets and bugs.
It's the future. It's the future, man. I'm going to open a cricket farm.
Durian. No. I will put my foot down at any durian flavored anything. I've had my fill of that taste. Dill, pickleballs, plastic pickleballs, dill pickle corn puffs. I'm a fan.
Hold on. Who made these? Hold on, real quick. Not Classic? Classic did make them. Okay. Maybe Mount.
Classic pickle.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some pickles from the local Mount Olive factory around here in North Carolina. Mount Olive pickles. Oh, bad. Good pickles. Prefer Mount Olive over Classic. All right. Here. Let's move forward. All aboard. Okay, I know he's not going to appreciate us always doing that. Ignacy, sorry, but hey, this is his new Gen Con release, and we have it from a confidential informant. It will be at Gen Con. That's right. You need to head over to the portal booth at Gen Con and pick up a board. Start your journey at the doors of Gen Con. Locate the portal booth. Proceed through the masses in the crowd. And be sure to get that copy of a board. And while you're there, be sure to check out all the other games that will be at the booth. Some of these games we saw last year were a little bit, maybe slightly less than retail.
Way less than retail.
Okay, yeah, way less. I was going to say that, Marty. I was just, I was going to let people kind of discover it on their own.
Oh, our buddy over at Chevy over at Portala said, oh, yeah. We're emptying the warehouse. We got to move some product. So if you want some good deals and you're at Gen Con, yeah, go check them out.
Resurgence. We covered this game many years ago. Fun worker placement game. And if you head over to shopportalgames.com, you can see some of their liquidation sales already going on, such as Brazil, which Marty, I wish we could play that. That was such a fun
good
4X game. Area control game. And then, of course, new releases. You've got Hiroshima Hex Anniversary Edition, Race to Berlin, Bohemians. I believe there should be, there's an expansion for Bohemians, isn't there?
I believe so, yeah.
And so hopefully Chevy will have some copies over there at their Gen Con booth. So be sure to check it out if you're heading to Gen Con. If not, head over to shopportalgames.com.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
No surprise you get a chance to play a two-player historical game. Tony and I are going to be into it, especially if there's aerial combat. And that's what we got from Arcane Wonders with their brand new game that came out of Origins and Gen Con, 1917 Dogfight. They brought this to us from Korea Board Games, and it's designed by Seoul Kong. This is a board with a hex map on there. One side's playing as Germans, one side's playing as allies. Production-wise, looks amazing. Fantastic. You got these little standees with these biplanes on them. Beginning of the game, you're going to pick which side you want to play. You pick which plane you want to play, which has special abilities. Then you pick a pilot that you want to put in that plane, which also has special abilities. A lot of options or combinations that you can make when you play this game. And then after that, it's just one plane chasing another on the board. that's driven by cards. You're going to have you're going to draw cards into your hand. The only one rule is every time you must play one maneuver card, which is forcing you to move. Your goal is to get behind a plane, because the only time you can take a shot, a basic attack, is if you're in the rear. You're going to roll some dice depending on the attack you activate. It'll tell you, here, you need to exceed this value. If you do, you deal damage. The person you're playing against can show a card from their hand. Ha-ha, I got an evasion card. Slap it down on the table. They roll some dice, and if they meet a threshold, they can negate that damage. The first person to deal enough damage to the other players will win the game. So, Tony, it's very much a tactical cat and mouse chasing each other in the skies game.
Right, and the damage the damage is having to force them to discard cards or put it in their damage deck versus discarding cards, which you can if you have collected enough that it's gears on the board. You can then take some of that damage and put it back in your deck. So you're basically fixing your plane or increasing your health of your plane. It also helps you with your maneuvers and your tactics. Certain cards have special abilities. Probably the most confusing. Oh, one thing you forgot. For those who don't know, this is Snoopy versus the Red Baron. Okay.
There you go.
That's a throwback for all you people who listen to, about the cartoons. It's Snoopy versus the Red Baron. Turning. What's the turn? How does it turn? What do I face? That was one of the things I kept struggling with, and that is just my own hang up with this, trying to, understand what's happening with the planes. But halfway through the game, after our first game, I got the hang of it. I also was like, why can't I shoot you coming from the front if I'm flying straight at you? Well, first off, that's not how it really worked back then, because I started thinking about it. The bullets, if two planes are flying at each other, propellers, you really don't have a good chance of hitting because they're going to fly right past each other. So that's why you had to get behind them. All aerial combat, if you've seen back then in the movies, everybody was flying behind one another, trying to hit them. It was easier to line them up. So that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate the fact that if you have some other like a 6, you can do a barrel roll that can maybe get you out of danger. I also like the fact that, hey, if you hit somebody and you've got these attacks going on, that if you reposition yourself, because you have to move after your attack due to momentum, you may be able to hit them again if you've positioned yourself very well. Very quick, fun game. I really enjoyed playing this.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, I appreciate, too, that it's like, okay, you're at the mercy of the luck of the draw. But however, there is a way to kind of mitigate that, because at the very beginning of your turn, you have the option to discard a card from your hand to perform a tactical improvisation. That allows you to collect a tactical token. That's this gear that you get. And then you can shuffle any cards from your hand into your deck and draw back. So if there's something you're looking for, that's a way to possibly to refresh your hand and also collect those gears. Because as Tony stated, spending those gears is how you activate a lot of your abilities. Now, your pilot has one special ability that can only be used once per game. Once it's done, card's flipped over, you can't use it anymore, but it's kind of like that epic, really cool ability. I do like games like this where it's not like you're just taking damage tokens, Tony, like you said. It's just like your deck is your damage. Mm-hmm. And as you start discarding cards into your damage pile, that's just going to get worse over time. The game is going to end as soon if you have no cards remaining in your deck, then that's it. I can't draw any more cards. It's over. Or if you take damage that exceeds the number of cards that's remaining in your deck, you're also considered shot down. So your life is your deck. Manage it well.
For production value, this is not one. Production value, it would be like a 7 or an 8. But overall, I think for some of these combat games, and we've played a lot of these, 2-player, I'm going to put this down in the 6 range. For the complexity of having to figure out the maneuvering from the standpoint of turning your planes, what the cards mean. It was very complicated. Didn't take away from the fun of the play. I just think it doesn't make it as accessible as I would like it to be.
Yeah, so I'm not looking at it from an accessible point of view. I'm looking at it for, hey, is this something I'm interested in? The turning didn't affect me as much. And what it means by that, y'all, is when you move or you attack, you must move forward, and you'll move forward to one of your 3 hexes, left, front, or right. And if you move into the left or right, you must turn your plane 60 degrees to match now that direction. That's kind of what the rule states. Somehow Tony got stuck up on that. But anyway.
I did. It was spatial relations. I'm sorry.
So I do like the idea of like you're trying to maneuver. If you've played X-Wing, y'all, it's going to have that kind of X-Wing feel. You're playing with cards, you're rolling some dice and everything. You're trying to position. So it has that feel, but you are reduced to this hex grid. So I think it's just a fun 2-player chase each other in the skies game. So for that reason, I am going to give it a 7. That is 1917 Dogfight from Arcane Wonders.
5-minute initiative is complete.
All right, if someone would have given me a pitch of a game to play and said, this is an economic game that tests players' strategy to build and operate a simple supply chain. Each player's goal is to make the most money by producing, selling, and shipping containers. I would have gone, that sounds extremely boring.
I would have said, sign me up.
But what has happened is the game Container that originally came out in 2007 that I've never played has taken our game group by storm. This is a game that's just now been re-released from All Play Games. They had a Kickstarter for it. It's now, the Kickstarter's been sent out and it's now available for purchase, a brand new version of Container.
Oh, it's all about the logistics, man. I've yet to crack this nut. I don't play it well, but the end scores don't reflect how poorly I feel I'm playing.
That's what I think I like about it is a tough nut to crack because each time I play, it's like, I'm going to try something different and it never pans out the way I expect it to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the idea. The game is literally create containers, provide containers for other people to put into their harbor. People pick up those containers to ship out to what's called Container Island. And then you can bid on those containers, and those containers can give you points at the end of the game.
That's right.
Or points is money, basically. It can give you money at the end of the game. But it is this producing and buying and shipping and bidding, and that's all there is to it. But it is insanely good, and I get the hype that's been around this game for decades.
I think one of the things that makes this game so good is the tight economics of this game. When you're bidding, you're like, how am I going to be able to afford a later round? But I really need these containers. And what is Marty up to? How much money does he have? Because it's all, of course, hidden knowledge, but it's just like, oh man, the money is so tight. And that always makes me underbid, which is why I don't feel like I play this game very well. I'll be honest with you, Marty, what you just said about the rules, that's really all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that you can do about building the factory, building your warehouses to increase your storage capability or increase your production. And it's okay. And you can never buy from your own harbor. You must buy from someone else's harbor. And that's where you're like, okay, what containers do I want to produce so somebody can put it in their harbor so that I can then go pick it up and then potentially get them when I deliver them, as long as I'm not outbid.
That's the thing is the containers you produce, you can't ship. Somebody else must buy them from you to put into their harbor to ship. You made a good point. Is now I could go pick those up and go auction them off, but typically you don't want to buy your own containers when you auction them off because, and I think this is brilliant, the game is a closed economy. At the start of the game, everybody has $20, and that $20 is just transferring between people on buying containers to put into their harbor, paying to pick up those containers to put them into their freight liners.
Sure. Tankers, freight liners, whatever you want to call them. Sure. They're ships that can hold containers.
Player ships, and then take them off to be delivered. But if I bring in containers to Container Island, and this opens up a blind bid for everybody. When it's resolved, whoever has the highest, if I take their bid, I get the money that they bid, plus there's an injection of money from the bank into the economy that is twice the amount of the bid. The bid went for 10, I'll get 10 from the player, and then 10 from the bank. I have the option, if the bid was 10, I could pay 11 and get those containers myself. But then I'm cheating myself of twice the money. And that's where the mathy stuff comes in. These containers that I just have, is it going to generate enough money for me? And which is another thing I love about this game, Tony, is at the beginning of the game, everybody is given a card that shows the value of each of the 4 types of containers, and they're different for everybody. So my most expensive container may be red, But for you, red may be the least expensive that would give you money. Oh, the most valuable. I said the wrong thing. Red may be the most valuable to me, but red may be the least valuable to you.
That's right. But I want to go back to something you said. Maybe I do want to produce my containers, and therefore that are the most, so that you can put them in your harbor, because someone else may not do that because they don't want to produce mine that are going to generate the most points. Maybe they're the ones that they're their lowest. And maybe it's something that they want to be able to deal with and use as their ones. And when you go to Container Island in-game scoring, you get rid of the containers you have the most of. Maybe that's going to be their leader, their lossers.
Okay, we really need to emphasize that point, because that is a major rule. That is a big sticking point. In case you didn't hear him, let me clarify again. At the end of the game, you'll remove the container of the same color that you have the most of. If I have 4 red and the rest are 3, the reds are gone. What happens if the reds happens to be my most valuable? So you don't want to have the most of your most valuable container. You would prefer to have the most, or tied, of the least valuable container. That one rule breaks my mind and makes it very tough to play.
Why is that?
Because when you go to bid, you got to make sure that whichever one is that I have the most of at the end is not going to be the one that's going to cost me a lot of points.
Okay.
And that's going to determine how I bid on a boat or ship when it comes into dock for me to bid on.
See, this is the thing that we kept, the different strategies. Like one strategy I was out there trying to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pick up the ones that I really want. And I'm also going to try to force y'all to bid on, or not bid, but possibly if I really want them, y'all don't really want them. I was just trying this. Therefore, when I take it to Container Island, y'all aren't going to bid that high on that. That's really what I was trying to do. So, yeah, I haven't cracked this nut. What do I need to do to make it successful for me to achieve victory points? Because I've yet to do that. I'll admit I did win the first one, but I backed into it. The second one, I was tight, but I didn't have any Container Islands. I didn't bid well.
Well, you didn't have any in the very first game. You didn't have hardly any containers on Container Island either. Instead, you just had a big wad of cash at the end of the game. Because at the very end of the game, you take whatever cash is in hand, then you sell your containers, and then you add up all that cash together. But you had a huge wad of cash because all you were doing was picking up and delivering, and we were bidding on your stuff. And I think that was a legit strategy.
Right. But then in our other game, nobody was producing.
Well, there's one other aspect when you talk about talking about the expansions. The concept of bids. There are 2 things that are set up in the market that allow you to start bids. One is for bidding for some containers that were randomly put out at the beginning of the game, or bidding on money that was put out at the beginning of the game. If a bid is started for this pool of money, bids are done by containers. So if I want this money, I will say, well, I'll contribute some of my containers from my harbor and from my factory to this, and hopefully it comes back around to me, and if it does, I win the bid. Somebody could bid one more container and take that bid from me. Mm-hmm. Let's say it gets back to me and I win that bid. The containers I use to bid with go out to this island that can be now bid on. So I'm adding containers to that initial seeding. Now somebody will go, well, that's a lot of containers right there. I'm going to start a bid for those containers, but to get containers, I'm now spending money. Mm-hmm. And the money that's used to win will go back out there to the board to be used for a later bid too. So that is really cool, of going back and forth, of using one to get the other, which generates this constant bidding, which happened to us in our second game.
Mm-hmm. And also when those containers, they go to that, not Container Island, but that special island, I forget what it was called, but you can then send your freighter to it, pick those up.
Offshore bank.
Maybe you put in $10 on the offshore bank containers, then you turn around and you ship those to Container Island, knowing that you're not going to want them because they're the lowest value on your victory card, but somebody's going to want them. And therefore, they're going to drive up the bid. What money did you make? There's your economic engine. The other game, when we put in the expansions, that included the trucking, which generally everybody say, well, how do these containers get from a factory to a harbor? People buy them and they just go there. Well, in the next one, there was this trucking concept where you were paying to ship things. And then you also had the one where you could turn in 2 containers to make a special container. It's gold, but it counts as 1.5 containers, which is very important for bidding.
And at the end of the game, any gold containers you have is a wild. You pick what color you want those gold containers you have to be, which could help you at the end game scoring. And then the third expansion was basically private loans. In the original game, you can, at any time on your turn, you could take a bank loan. Hey, bank, give me $10. At the beginning of every round, I must pay $1 interest back, which is going to go to the offshore bank. And I need to be able to repay that loan by the end. And if I don't, I'll start defaulting and getting rid of containers and stuff. Bad stuff happens. This expansion was basically, it says when I want a loan, before I can go to the bank, every player at the table has the option to offer me a personal loan. It's like, no. I'll give you $10, but now when you pay interest, you're paying me and not the bank. If somebody does that, I have the option to deny the loan, but if I do, I don't even get it from the offshore bank. So it's probably, if I need the money, I'll probably take it, but now I'm paying that person. So it was another way to generate money for other players.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on the expansions. I can see why some people would use them, probably professional container players. But for me, just put that base game on there. I don't even need the gold. For
me, I would always use the gold containers. I think that's a really cool option, helping with bidding and stuff. The personal loans, I can take or leave. The trucking, I don't think is needed at all. And here's why. It's because typically one of the actions you could do in the base game is, remember when I said, hey, I can go out to Tony's factory and pay him for, the price I'm paying is set by the person. They set the prices for their colors of containers, and it's constantly changing, and you're looking around the market and you're trying to make your containers look favorable so much people will come to you. Anyway, I buy from him and just bring them back over to my harbor. What the trucking introduces is, at the beginning of the game, if I need to go pick up those containers, I got to pay $1 off to the side of my board in order to get those containers to me. So that's a new cost I have to inject into the system. Yeah. And there's a new way to bid. People can bid on trucking services. If I've accumulated enough money over here, Tony says, that's a wad of money I want right there, and I want to be your trucking service. I'm going to bid to always provide you cargo for you. And then there's this whole other bidding round. Whoever wins the bid, and I could bid myself, means that whenever I truck or take that action, I now pay them $1 unless I happen to win the bid, and then I can ship for free. It added another element of bidding and another drain on the economy from your personal supply that we just didn't care for. So I will never play with that expansion again.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It was one of those things I was like, I'm not enjoying this portion of it. One thing I want, you mentioned it about setting the prices. That's something we have to explore too. You know, I said money was tight.
Yep.
Setting the price on the containers and in the harbor, we kept everything at the minimum.
We did, but all it took was one person setting it at the minimum, and everybody felt like, well, you just kind of set the market. I got to compete with that, right? Now, obviously, it's one of those things that, look, I'm the only one producing yellow. I can jack up the price on yellow because nobody else is providing it. The whole supply and demand curve is constantly fluctuating in this game, and I think that's the nut to crack. But that's what I love about economic games.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say about it. Give it a try. Thank you all play for reproducing it.
And the deluxe version has all metal ships, metal containers, and neoprene mat. Now, we didn't mention, just so you know, the flow of the game is on your turn. You get 2 actions. And you're going to pick one of several actions that we mentioned, such as producing from your factory, building a new factory to produce a new color, expanding your warehouse so you can carry more stuff in your harbor, buying stuff from other people's factory to put in your harbor, shipping. Oh, Tony, I think this breeds of shipping. Shipping is an action which I think is interesting. When you move, you need to go out to the open sea before you can go to someplace else. Mm-hmm. That means if I'm in your harbor, one action is to move out to sea. And if I want to sell it, the second action is to move in Container Island. What that means is I can't probably pick up and sell in the same turn.
Right.
It's probably going to typically take 2 turns. And I think that is a brilliant rule too.
Or you can just have your ship sit out at sea and let people think they know when you're going to bring it in.
Dude, in his second game, Tony had a full ship of 5 containers just sitting in the middle of the ocean. And we're like, Tony, we would really like to bid on these containers. And he's like, there'll be a time when you could bid. I'm like, what are you doing?
I wanted that ship. I wanted y'all to deplete.
Oh.
Now, that's what I was holding on to. I was like, okay, I just need to sit back and let y'all, hopefully, because I took a loan early so that I could match your bids. And then all of a sudden, it was like, well, dang it, y'all are going through there too quick on me. And now you got too much money. I'm not going to be able to get that container. So maybe I can wait, let y'all waste your money. But as soon as everybody else started bidding, they injected a whole bunch of money into the system, into that one person. And then I knew that one person was going to be able to outbid me. I was just curious to see if it was possible, something I could pull off, and it wasn't. Because if I had hurried to the container island, taken the loan early, and quickly went there, maybe I could have gotten that ship, because I really wanted the ship that I had because it had all my high value stuff.
How'd that work out for you?
I didn't win. I lost, but not by much. But like I said, it could have worked.
What was interesting is in our first game, you had $90-something, and the lowest amount of dollars was 50-something. I think it was me. And the second game, I won the highest amount of dollars was 40-something. So the highest was less than the lowest of the first game. Yeah. But I think the expansions kind of wonked us up because we were doing that trucking expansion. And then there were these extra costs and bids for the trucking, which I think just cost us some money. All right, Tony, final scorings. What are you going to give this container game that is now back out, available to be bought and purchased again from Allplay?
I'm going to probably set lower than you would. I'd set a lower bid. And probably the reason why is I don't know how accessible it is to the family. I'm going to try it out. In 2 weeks' time, I will be playing this with the family. So I'm excited to give this a shot because it's a straightforward game. So with that, I reserve the right to come back and raise this score. So right now, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. I love economic games. I've always have. It's one I've said on this show all the time. And I think some of the best economic games are those that have very simple actions, but the economy that you're working with makes sense. I will say the one thing that's kind of weird is your board has your factory and harbor. I'm creating containers in my factory that's beside my harbor, but I can't put them in my harbor. Thematically, I don't understand why can't I put my containers in my harbor that's right beside there? That's a little weird. But anyway, be that as it may, watch this, y'all. We're going 10 nuts.
Really?
10. This is one of the best games, and I can't stop thinking about it. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay. I think it's easy to understand. I love the way it looks. I think it looks great on the table. The moving of ships is very toy-like, and creating these containers and stacking them into boats. The player interaction is out of this world. I will play this game anytime. I can't think of another economic game I've played in quite a long while that would top. There were some amazing economic games. Like earlier this year, we played Arkwright, which blew me away. But that is an extremely complicated game. But I think they've distilled the supply demand of, with 3 of the players or 4 of the players building an economy in such simple actions that it just puts it right at the top for me. Oh, and I almost forgot. Another reason why I rank it so high. The production in this game is amazing. I mentioned about the deluxe game with the metal bits and everything, but the base game, all the ships are plastic, all the containers are plastic, the money that you use are thick cards so they'll last, and with all those plastic bits, the price of this game is only $39.99. If you would have shown me this box and said, Marty, how much you think this is going to be MSRP? I immediately would have said $55-$60. Nope, $40. So when you take an amazing game, great production, and an amazing price point, then that's the reason why I gave it that score.
Okay. I knew it was going to be probably a 9 for you, but I'm surprised at a 10.
Yeah, it's a blind squirrel. It's a blind squirrel. Now, if you throw in the expansions, it would drop. I don't like the trucking at all. I don't want to play with the trucking again. The others I can take or leave. I think the gold is really, really, really good because it's easy to understand. I can just turn in 2 containers myself and get a gold back. I think it just adds some extra options into it. And here's the thing is, maybe I reserve the right when I play again to drop it to a 9, but I can't think of anything about this game that I would change.
Okay. And just think if you ever win it, how you would feel about it. Sorry.
I did win.
Oh, that's right. You did win. I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
If I hadn't, it was going to be a 6.
It's going to be a 6. I feel you there.
All right, y'all. Container from All Play Games. Over at miniaturemarket.com, they've listed last month's top sellers. And when we look at it, I'm going to look at the top board games in there. They list their top 10. The number one board game, the top board game that was sold, the number one item was Pokemon, but there's no surprise there. Came in at number 5, which was, get this, Campania. Tony, you and I loved that game. And that's coming in at number 5 over here. That was the hidden dice placement that you sent your workers out to accomplish goals. Great game. Next is Frosted Blooms. That's out there. And then over coming in at number 8, Ace of Spades, game that came out last year. They've done a reprint of that game. You might want to check that out. And at number 9, no surprise, Flip 7. I mean, is that just going to be a constant top 10? Probably so. And then coming in at number 10 is the expansion for Nucleum, Gibraltar expansion. So this is cool, is that each month they're going to list the top games sold from the previous month, and probably some top games coming out next month will be some of those new games coming out at Gen Con. So you might want to jump on there, pre-order, see what's hot. You can do all that over at miniaturemarket.com.
5-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
Ivy Studios was kind enough to send us over a copy of the game Moonrollers, designed by Robert Havokimian. Sorry, right there. And this is a push your luck style game for 2 to 5 players, where you are trying to enhance your crew by rolling dice, fulfilling their needs on their card, and then whoever scores the most points at the end of the game, prestige, wins the game. Now, real quick concepts here. Roll your dice. Based on what comes up, you may pick a crew, and only on your turn you may pick one of them. You fulfill a contract on their card, and it could be the orange contract or the yellow contract, whatever it is. And if you roll enough of that symbol or that color, you then put your cube on that card. Now, you can continue to roll as long as you have dice left, but if you ever are unable to commit at least one dice on a roll, you have busted, and therefore all the cubes are removed from that. The way you score points in this game is whenever a contract or of a crew member is fulfilled, you score the prestige where your cubes are. Now, that doesn't mean that you secured that crew member to your ship, because guess what? Someone else could come along, but you may score more prestige than that person. And these crew members are very important in the sense that they are able to manipulate dice, change the way the dice do. They have special powers. So push your luck with the added complexity of you score points, but you don't have to complete a crew member to do that. Moonrollers. Marty, I know you love push your luck games, and I say that very sarcastically.
Push your luck is definitely by far my least favorite genre of everything. I do appreciate in this game that the game play changes over time as you get cards. So it's not as strictly like a Yahtzee where the game is the same at the start and at the end. Because if you can secure some of these crew members, some of those are huge. Like I got one that's like, hey, if you ever roll a purple, treat it as a wild card sort of deal. And if you could start getting the right combos, I think the thing that was tough with this for me is it's hard to target a crew member. It's like, I really want that crew member. You may never get it because if you start putting cubes on it, by the time it gets back around to you, others could have filled in the empty spots, and then that's their crew member. It's almost like when it gets to you, it's down to, well, the ones that are available to me, I'm going to go for this one. However, you're at the fate of the die. Oh, I need yellow on this. Let me roll my hand of dice. Not one of them are yellow. And I've got nothing I can do to convert that to a yellow. I can't even go for that card. I must shift strategy and go somewhere else. No. Which has always kind of been my issue with push your luck. It's like the luck is just so big in a lot of these games. And that's one of those things where I remember I really want that card, rolled the dice. I have no shot at going for that card. So I got to pivot and go somewhere else. And then you just try to go for points. Well, let me just try to fill in stuff here. So when this card gets filled out, at least I get some victory points. I do appreciate the fact that even though I may not get the card, I still could get a lot of points off of it. And then it's like, is it best to diversify? Maybe instead of worrying about trying to get crew members, maybe I just diversify as much as I can so that as they're scored, I get points on every card.
Right. And hopefully maybe if I have a cube here and a cube over at this crew member and someone's not working, so, someone else goes there, that then, oh, wow, they just allowed me to go to it. Yeah, that's all part of the strategy, all part of the luck of the game. Now, and there's one other thing. When you are fulfilling some of these needs of these crew members, these contract portions, if you fulfill one that has a little exclamation point above it, you draw blindly from a pool that has additional prestige points on it. However, if you're the person who has the most hazards from these prestige points, then you do not get to count those at all.
I think a 5 value had 2 hazards, a 2 value had 1 hazard icon, and then the ones had nothing. A lot of us were trying to avoid towards the end of the game of not taking the hazards because we felt like I've drawn too many of those and it's bad. That's what happened to Bert. Yeah. It's like, and then if you get stuck, you draw 2, keep 1. But if you draw 2 5s, then you're just stuck. Yeah. I got lucky and drew a bunch of 1s, and I just kept the 1s, knowing that, okay, well, I'm probably pretty safe at the end.
Yeah, which threw me off because I saw you with a stack over there, and I'm like, well, maybe I can push my luck a little bit with the 5s, I got a 5 and a 1. Well, Marty's got a ton over there, and I only got 5 I've got 3 of these. Let me put that 5 in there, so I can see. Mm-hmm. But that's also a way to indicate who has been taking the most risk with those hazards, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been filling those out. So could it balance at the end of the game? Hey, you've been getting the most prestige points when these contracts got filled, possibly. But now we're not going to benefit you for the in-game scoring. So, overall, fun little push your luck type game. And like you said, it's no Yahtzee, thank goodness. I'm done with Yahtzee. I remember many nights where my parents played Yahtzee constantly. I was like, what are y'all doing over there? My goodness. But anyway, that is Moonrollers. Do you have anything else you want to talk about other than giving it a score?
And no, that's it. So my score is, again, I'm not a push your luck guy. I do appreciate some of the speed of this. I appreciate the push your luck element, try to fill out cards, kind of cool. So I'm just going to go slightly above average. I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with you there on 6 just from the ease of teaching. And I think with some of the people I'm playing with, this is right up their alley from that type of game where the manipulation of the dice will help this game. And they may appreciate that over than just rolling straight Yahtzee. That's Moonrollers from IV Studio.
5-minute initiative is complete.
Tony, as of this recording, we're getting ready to head to Vegas for the Star Wars Unlimited Galactics. By the time this episode drops, we will have returned, and we'll be telling everybody about it in the next episode.
Yeah, I ordered my boxes, so you said, because I'm going to be getting a lot of cards, so I need to be able to carry them home. Yeah, I've been trying to read up on this, on what I need to be doing, what I need to be prepared for. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, it'll be fun watching those who are way better players in Star Wars and see what decks they're doing. Do they have like a big video screen where I'll be able to sit there and watch?
They do. And in fact, it's really interesting on the final day, you can watch the championship game. And by the way, all this is streamed. The guy that we had on the show before, Main Deck Dan, he's actually going to be one of the commentators. It was announced for this event. But yes, they have screens around the floor where there'll be like one table they're focusing on the main stage, and you can hear the commentary. And it is really interesting to hear how they play and some of the commentary behind it on why they're playing this card or that card, and it kind of helps you become a better player. And I need to be a better player.
I do too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting some of the on-demand plays just to remind me of just how poor of a player I am.
Same here. So, yeah, we can't wait to tell about that. And shoot, also, let me see. Let me math out the time. So this drops. And the next time we record, I will have also gone to Southern Fried Gaming Exchange. So I'll be talking about that, plus Star Wars Galactic. So, yeah. Going to be hot in Vegas. At least it's not. It's what they always say. At least it's a dry heat.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. But it's going to be cold inside. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I need my jeans. I need my hoodie. But looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to actually doing one of these. We've never really done anything like this. So this will be interesting to see.
Looking forward to just playing a bunch of side events, meeting a bunch of people. It's going to be great.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to say keep rolling dice.
And taking names. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. Check out our website, rolldicetakenames.com. That's where we have links to all of our socials. Follow us there. We mainly post on X and Instagram. Every once in a while, I keep forgetting about Facebook. You need to do that, too. Also, join our Discord channel. You'll see the links there. And also, we try to put them in the show notes, too. And make sure to go and read our show notes, which has all the timestamps and links to the games that we talked about in this episode.
Powered by Riverside FM.
See, folks, it's never going to end.